Beat the Hey, oh my God. Come on. Beat the Come on. Wait. Move. Let her hair go.
A 26-year-old mother of four had just wrapped up a 16-hour security shift. She was tired. She had every reason to go straight home, lock the door, and rest. But her sister needed her.
Yes, I with your Yes, I was with last week. Yes, I love you. Yes, he nutted in me. Yes, I'm pregnant.
So Asia Monet Stewart showed up, not to fight, not cause trouble, but to help. And within minutes of arriving at Wesley Square Apartments in Houston, Texas, she was gone. Shot at close range. Left on the ground outside the place, she came to bring peace. The woman who pulled that trigger, she didn't run far. And the community she left behind, they are still demanding answers. Before we get into everything, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from tonight. And if you've ever seen a small argument turn into something no one saw coming, tell us about it below. We read every single comment here. Now, let's talk about what really happened on February 8th, 2026.
Day one, no arguing.
Day one.
No, it's day two.
We argued yesterday.
We arguing right now.
Day one.
An arrest has been made in the fatal shooting of a mother of four at an apartment complex in Sunnyside. 25-year-old Deja Wilmore is in custody, charged with the murder of Asia Stewart. Sherman DeSalle has been following this, and he is joining us live from HPD headquarters with an exclusive interview with the victim's father, who's telling us he wishes a calmer path had been taken before the shooting. Sherman.
Yeah, good evening, Caroline. So we did get a hold of some court documents. They reveal that the violence came from actually a multi-day fight involving several women. And witnesses say that Asia Stewart was not involved in this fight. She only went there to de-escalate the situation because it involved her sister. So we spoke earlier exclusively with Carlton Stewart, the father of the victim, right at the spot where his daughter was shot. And there's a growing memorial for her at the Wesley Square Apartments on Calhoun. Court docs read that Sunday night, as the women were fighting, witnesses heard Wilmore, armed with a gun, shout, "If you touch my friend, I'll shoot you," towards another woman involved. And as Stewart tried to de-escalate the fight, that's when the witnesses say Wilmore shoved Stewart. And as Stewart swung at her, police say Wilmore shot Stewart at close range before fleeing the scene.
I know in my heart of hearts that even though she came to help her sister and talk to get the situation resolved, her mind, my voice was there telling her she needed to be home. But for the love of her sister, love of her sibling, which everybody's guilty of that, she came. Sure. She came, but she didn't come with no violence. Asia had worked a 16-hour shift previous to coming over here. I'm not going to say it's a good morning because it's not a good morning. I'm heartbroken. My heart has been ripped from my chest. But the incident surrounding my daughter, Asia Stewart, and her dying. I hear a lot of stories. Most are not true. Most have been twisted. But again, those are stories. Stories are made to be twisted and fabricated to whatever the person that's telling it is telling it. That's how they're telling it. I get that. But my biggest question to everybody is, and this is something that stemmed from Asia's whole family, how do y'all expect kids to have conflict resolution when they grow up and see their parents not being able to have conflict resolution or problem solving or be in situations and know how to go about handling the situation properly? How do we expect for these kids to handle situations and know how to maneuver in certain rooms and certain things when most of y'all don't know how to do it? Answer that for me. If you're my friend and you're on this Facebook and you see this post, answer that for me, but at the same time, share this. This needs to be put out there because a lot of these kids are moving with no knowledge of nothing. They've seen their mamas scream at the top of their voice or yell at them. They've seen their daddy yell at the top of their voice. They've seen things that they should have seen and heard things that they shouldn't have heard. It wasn't taught things that they need to have been taught. So naturally they grab and they just do what they do without knowing the consequences, without not knowing how to problem solve or conflict resolution. Because this problem that took place, this instance that took place could have easily been solved. We had adults out there in my age group that sit there and was gonna watch kids fight. I see it so much on so many times on so many social media platforms where when a fight break out, adults, grown adults, run to the fight. They don't run to the fight to break it up. They don't run to the fight to say y'all wrong. They run to the fight to watch, the fight to record, the fight to record, and then hear everybody go crying when somebody dies. We praise John with the gun. We praise such and such, whatever girl. I'm not going to call the girl that killed my baby name out. I'm going to give her family grace, even though she didn't get mine grace. We praise them or they kill us. We didn't just lose Asia today. We lost this little girl too. Her mama lost a child. That little girl baby finna lose a mama. This run deep. We don't need the KKK no more. We killing ourselves. We killing ourselves so much. We would be extinct pretty soon, black people, and we wonder why we so low on the totem pole. Y'all think y'all really out here popping y'all with y'all designer this, designer that, and this and that, that and this, when in actuality as a whole, we are poor mentally and emotionally. How can we're not rearing up these children right. I stayed on mine. Asia went over there to Western Square, but you better know in the back of Asia's mind, my voice was in her ear telling her to stop running over there to Western Square. But at the same time, I understand the love my child had for her sister took her over there. And I'm not mad at Brittany. I'm not mad at the girl that killed my baby. I'm not mad at the person that called my baby over there. I'm not mad. I'm hurt from every single soul that was in Western Square, that was in that circle. I'm mad. I'm hurt because this could have worked out a better way. And if you know me, you know I never stood on the side of motherfucking wrong. When Asia was wrong, she was wrong. When she was right, she was right. I didn't give a fuck. And to the people that was out there, i.e. her sister, her cousins, they know me. They know my heart. And they know what I stood for. And I definitely didn't stand for this because had I been out there, it wouldn't have been no fighting. I would have whipped Asia's ass. I would have broke Asia's jaw. I would have broke Brittany's jaw. I would have broke Misha's jaw. Mine, I would have been kicking ass. I wish the y'all would be out here fighting. Y'all better get the motherfucker in this truck. And anybody know me know I'm not telling no lies. I would have kicked some ass out there. It wouldn't have been no motherfucking fighting. I'm that grown up that don't play that. But y'all ask yourself that. How can these kids be successful and be able to solve problems and not reach for a gun and not want to throw fists and beat on their fellow sister and brother when they've never been taught these things? They've never seen these things.
Good morning, y'all. Do not let Ivy claim victory over y'all this morning. Ivy needs attention. She's always needed attention. And you all have always given her attention. That baby has a mental illness, understand that. And she feeds off of the internet. The best thing y'all can do for Ivy and the best thing y'all can do for Asia is block Ivy on social media. Because everything she does is for social media. I don't want nobody hitting Ivy. I don't want nobody putting their hands on Ivy in the sake of my child. If y'all want to honor Asia, block Ivy. Move on. Don't let nobody win over y'all mental, over y'all emotions. Don't, because y'all hitting her, y'all going to her page and looking at whatever she said about Asia. If you knew Asia, you knew Asia, you knew what it was. So it shouldn't be something that somebody can post that can trigger y'all. I'm not triggered by whatever the she said, nor have I even looked at what she said, because I know my child. You understand me? So do me this favor and do Asia this favor, this service. and do Ivy this service, because that baby needs help. She needs mental help. Block her so she gets to a point where she has to really sit down and self-reflect, look at herself from the inside out, because the tongue is mighty. So do me that favor and do my child that favor in that service, and look at yourself and do not let this child, Ivy, win favor on you by making you angry this morning, by touching something in you that you don't want touched, which is your heart, your soul, your spirit. She's looking for attention, and we're not going to give her attention. We're going to remove her off of social media the right way. We're going to force her to get help because she needs help. Because if you know, you know, Asia was loved. She was loved by y'all. She was loved by me, her daddy. And those are things that Ivy never experienced probably. Ivy never had a mama that loved her the way Yolanda loved Asia. Ivy never had a daddy that loved her the way I loved Asia, or poured into her the way I poured into Asia. Because if you know Asia and you know me, Asia was poured into. Asia was built up. She was reared up. And that's why she was the child she was. So we're not going to yell at Ivy. We're not going to even go to her video. We're just going to delete Ivy, and we're going to let Ivy deal with her mental issues and hopefully get the mental help she needs.
Now that you've heard directly from those closest to this story, let's walk through everything from the beginning. Asia Monet Stewart was 26 years old, and if you ever came across her page online, you already know she went by Saucy Asia. She was the kind of person who lit up a room. Outgoing, fun, always posting videos, always showing up for people she loved. But more than anything else about her life, more than any title or description, Asia was a mother, for children depended on her. Ages 11, 8, 6, and 3, for kids who called her mom. Her father, Carlton Stewart, described her in a way that anyone who knew her would recognize immediately. She was loving, she was loyal, and that night, she was not trying to start anything. She was trying to stop something. On the night of February 8th, 2026, a dispute broke out among a group of women at Wesley Square Apartments on Calhoun Road in Houston's Sunnyside neighborhood. These were not strangers to each other. This was a neighborhood conflict, the kind that starts with words, builds over time, and eventually spills out into the open. Asia's sister was involved in that dispute. And so Asia, fresh off a 16-hour security guard shift, a shift where her entire job had been to keep people safe, made a decision to go to her sister, not to escalate, not to throw fuel on the fire. Witnesses on the scene that night were clear about what they saw. Asia was trying to de-escalate the situation. She was trying to bring it down before it got out of hand. That's who she was. But 25-year-old Dashta Wilmore, also referred in reports as Deja or Dashta Wilmore, had a different idea of how that night was going to go. According to witnesses, Wilmore had already threatened to shoot before a single shot was fired. Those words were out in the open, and yet the confrontation continued to build. At some point, Wilmore shoved Asia Stewart. A struggle followed. And then, at close range, Wilmore allegedly fired a shot directly into Asia's abdomen. That was it. One shot. One decision. And a mother of four was on the ground. Wilmore did not stop there. As she fled the scene, she allegedly fired additional shots. Houston police recovered 9mm shell casings at the scene. Witnesses who had seen everything were able to identify Wilmore through photographs, and she was arrested shortly after. Dashta Wilmore was charged with murder. As of mid-February 2026, she remains in Harris County Jail. No further court updates have been reported beyond her initial appearance. Now here's where we want to hear from you, because this case raises real questions about accountability. What do you think justice looks like for Asia's family? What should happen next? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. We genuinely want to know what you think. Carlton Stewart, Asia's father, stepped in front of cameras in the days that followed, and what he said deserves to be heard by everyone watching this. He did not call for revenge. He did not let grief turn into rage, at least not publicly. Instead, he called for accountability without hatred. He grieved openly and honestly, but he directed his message outward, toward every adult who has ever let a conflict go further than it needed to go. He pointed to something that many people overlook when these tragedies happen: Children are watching. They are always watching. When adults choose to escalate instead of walk away, when adults let pride make decisions that common sense would never make, children absorb that. They carry it. And eventually, some of them repeat it. Carlton also spoke directly to something that is very much a reality in 2026, online conflict. He urged people to block those who provoke them on social media rather than engage, rather than let back and forth on a screen pull them into a real-world confrontation with real-world consequences. Because that is exactly what can happen. And in this case, it did. In the days following Asia's death, her family held a balloon release in her honor. People gathered to remember Saucy Asia, not the way she died, but the way she lived, laughing, posting videos, being present for the people she loved. And now, an 11-year-old has to grow up without her. So does the 8-year-old, the 6-year-old, and the 3-year-old, who may not even fully understand yet why mom isn't coming home. That is the real cost of this. Not just one life lost, but for childhoods permanently altered, for kids who deserve more time, a father who should not have had to bury his daughter, a sister who called for help and now carries the weight of what followed. Asia Stewart ran toward a conflict to protect someone she loved. She didn't go there armed. She didn't go there angry. She went there the way good people go to the aid of their family, with nothing but the intention to help, and she never made it home. Carlton Stewart said it best. Accountability without hatred. That is what Asia's family is asking for. That is what her children deserve. And that, right there, is a lesson this story leaves behind. Not just for Houston, not just the Sunnyside community, but for every single one of us watching. The next time a situation starts to build, the next time words start flying and pride starts making decisions, remember what it cost Asia Monet Stewart to simply show up for someone she loved. Walk away. Block. Go home. Because some people never get the chance to. If this story moved you, if you believe Asia's name deserves to be heard beyond this tragedy, please hit that like button right now and share this video. Every share puts her story in front of someone new. We cover real stories, real people, and real consequences. Because these are not just headlines. These are lives. We'll see you in the next one.